Hello guys, welcome back to Pictorial Innovations, and if you are new here, a warm welcome to you as well. I promise to always do a new month flyer design at the end of every month, and here are simple ones for April. I'm going to show you how I designed the two flyers on PixelLab. I was just playing around, so I'll show you how I designed the two flyers, and at the same time I will make sure the video is not a lengthy one, because even me, I know it can be discouraging. So it's gonna be little or no talk, but I'll try to make it a short one and not too lengthy. You can learn how to create this yourself, and I'll download the two PLP files to edit to your taste or your client's taste. So in the resource file, there are other stock images, both with background and without background, so feel free to use them, because as one of my active subscribers, you earned it. As you all know, all the resources I used in this video and more will be linked in the description. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification to be notified whenever I upload new videos. Without any further ado, let's get started. I want to start with the first flyer. I think it's simple, and like I said, I was just playing around, so feel free to tweak anything, change anything, color, layout, and everything you feel like. So this is just an idea, and this is just me playing around. So the first thing I usually do, or let me say I used to do, is to go to this photo tab and change the size, so that I'll have something of quality and crisp whenever I export. But then, because I usually export the PLP file for you people to download and tweak, use, and for anything you want to use it to, then it comes out with a large amount of size. So then I feel like, for the sake of each tutorial, I won't be changing my size, or I will only export as ultra, so that I will still have something quality. Because changing my size to the normal size I used to use, it increases the size of the MB, and people are already complaining about that, so I want to take that into consideration. So the only thing I have to do now is to go to this bottom of this template and just click on the new canvas, so I have something plain to work with. So the first thing we want to do is to import the picture of the babies. So let's just go to this third tab here, this top tab, this guy, then go to import. When you go to import, it takes you to your gallery where you can select any image you feel like selecting. So let's import the picture of the babies. So we have the picture of the babies here. So the only thing I want to do now is to just crop it. You can either crop from here, or just select from the template here, like this. Just click and it changes. So but I want to use this first one. So I have this like this, then I can just click OK. So I have the babies like this. The way I'm scaling it up is by clicking and holding this. Don't scale from this part, you distort the image. Don't scale from this part, you distort the image. So if you want to go back, if you mistakenly distort the image by clicking on this or this, you can click on this guy here, which means undo. There's no redo on PixelLab yet, but you can still undo. So click on this guy, then you have something like this again. Then you can scale proportionally by clicking at the edge of this, then you scale like this. So we have something like this here. But then, if you want to work on this kind of image, it's in two ways. Is either you create a shadow so that it feels like they are jumping up and they are floating, or their legs are on the ground. So shadow can do that for you. But in this case, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to use shadow. I'm going to use a couch. Babies usually play on a couch and that kind of thing. So I'll place a couch here, so it feels like they jump up from a couch and they're just playing their normal way. So let me import the couch image, then we'll know how to place the babies. Go to import again and import the couch. So I have the image of the couch here. I don't even need to crop it, but then if you want to crop it, you can just click on this guy again, then crop it if you want to crop it. And if you want to redo the cropping, it's a thing you can just click on this cancel, then it brings you the full image here. Then you can just scale anyhow you want it to be. Okay, I think I prefer it this way. So the next thing you want to do is to go to where you manage your layer. This is where you manage your layer, this guy here. By the time you click on it, you see the layers. Each object you drop on your documents gives you a new layer. So we have the layer for the couch. I'm clicking on the eye icon here to hide and unhide. So you see whatever it is that is below the layer. So I want to click and drag the layer for the couch down the baby image so that I will know how to place them. So now I want to click on the babies. So I want to increase the image of the babies a bit. So looking at them here, it feels like they are both playing on the couch. They are jumping up, they are happy. So I want to increase the image a bit. So they jumped up from the couch, happy, blah blah blah, like that. The image gives happiness actually. So now the only thing we want to do now is to tweak the image a bit. So let's just go to color filters here. Click on the color filters. So make sure you are still clicking on the images. If you are not clicking on the image, you won't be able to see the color filter. So I'm not changing too much here. I just want to give it a bit saturation, just to it's more like giving it a vibrant thing. So I'm going to give it like 4. Then the contrast, so that it will be bright a bit, I'm going to give it like 5. I think it's better like this so that don't make the color bleed. Yes. So just click OK. Then let's go to layer again, or you can just click from here since you are not locking it. So I want to click the couch background. So then I want to go to color filters again. Then for the saturation, I want to take it all the way up so that it matches the baby, the picture of the babies. So I want something like this. It shouldn't be too much, but then I want something like this. So then I want to increase the contrast a bit too, because we are still going to write something at the background there, so that it feels okay. So I think I love it this way, because don't forget, I will still have to take my design to the Lightroom for final tweaking. So you can watch one of my videos, like one of my previous videos, on how to make your design pop with Lightroom. You can check that in the video link showing at the top right corner of your screen. You can click that and watch that now or later. So let's continue. So you can just click OK. So we have something like this, right? We have something like this. It feels like this one jumped up from this side and this one is about to jump up, but our leg is still on the couch. So it feels good. So you can just go back to where you manage your layer and lock both of them in place like this, so that when you click, you don't mistakenly move your object from wherever you place it. So the next thing is to write our April. We should write our April. So go to this A here. This is where you manage your text. Then you can click on this text. So by the time you click on this text, you see something like new text. Double tap on it, then you can write your text. April. So click OK. So you have this here, right? Then let's go to fonts. These are default fonts. This on fonts, we are still on fonts here. These are default fonts that came with PixelLab when you downloaded it. Then if you go to my fonts, these are the custom installed fonts that you installed yourself. If you don't know how to install fonts, you can watch the video showing at the right top corner of your screen, so you know how to download online and install into your PixelLab. So now I want to use this font, the Constellation. These fonts, yes, this is what I want to use. So click OK. So you have something like this. But if you notice this, click outside, then you notice that PixelLab has cut some parts of these fonts, so it's not giving us the full beauty of these fonts. How do you rectify that? It's easy. So just click on it, make sure you are still clicking on the font, then you go down like this, make sure you are still on this font tab, then you look for padding. This is padding. Click on padding, then you can increase it like this. Then you know that as you are increasing it, PixelLab is releasing the part that it's cut off. Then increase the right padding and the left padding, then you have the full beauty of the font. Then you can place it anyhow you want to place it. You can increase it. Notice that by the time you increase it, it's still cut. Then you go back to padding again. You see that this is left. You increase it so that it releases it for you to use. So I think I will drop mine here, or you can just go to relative position and click on this middle part so that you know that it's in the middle, it's at the middle rather. So click OK, then you have something like this. But then we want this behind the baby image. We want this April to be behind the baby's image. So go to where you manage your layer, just the way we drag the couch the other time. Click and hold. By the time you click and hold, it shrinks, then you bring it behind this image. Then we have something like this. So we are still clicking. If you notice, we are still clicking on the April image. Then go to color, click on this plus sign. You can actually choose from any of the colors here, but then I already used a color, then I add the code with me. I can just input the code. How do you input code? Just go to plus sign here. You can choose any color from this color spectrum here. You can change the hue, you can change the saturation, you can change the transparency, anyhow you want it. And again, this color picker tool, you can click on it and click on any of the image you dropped in your document and click on any color at all. Clicking on any color, you notice this place is changing, meaning you are selecting a color. Once you are done selecting the color, you say okay, then it picks the color on the color spectrum for you. But then if you have a color code, probably you saw a color code online, blah 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 like that, yeah, you can go to this pen tool here, click on it, then you can edit the color code. So I want to use BB DEFB. Then before you click OK, you click on this check mark so that it applies it. Then you click OK. Then you click OK again. So you have something like this. Remember, I told you I was just playing around. So if you feel this is okay for your brand or your client's brand, you can use this color. But remember contrast. Remember contrast. I was only playing around. If I want to go by the rules, I actually can break the rules if I want to. Yeah. Even if you want to break the rules too, you can break the rules. But then, before you break the rules, make sure you know the rules. Remember contrast. Remember contrast. However, me, I am just playing around. So you don't have to follow strictly the codes or whatever it is I'm doing here, but just for you to have an idea of how I designed the flyer. So I'll click OK here. Then I want to go to stroke. I want to go to stroke and enable it. So I want to give the stroke like 11. I think 11 is thick enough. Then I want to go to color and change the color to white. So I have something like this. So I want to go to shadow, and then I want to enable the shadow. Then I want to change the color to white as well, so that I have something like this. So I want to increase the blur radius so that it feels like this. Okay, it's getting better, right? Yeah. So I want to lock it in place. Go to where you manage your layer and lock it in place. So then I want to blend this thing. This April is glowing. Definitely it has to reflect on this baby's image. So it has to reflect. How do we make it reflect? At least reflect on the babies. Yeah, go to this third guy here where you manage your objects, then go to shapes. Then from here you can change it to any shape you like, but then I want to use the circle. Yeah, we have something like this. Go to gradient. This is your gradient. Then you can go to this plus sign. click on this plus sign, then this handle you change it like this anyhow you want to change it, or you can even just leave it if you want. Then go to this radial. This is radial, this is linear, this is linear, this is linear, this is radial. So you have something like this. The outer parts, we are going to fade it off. We don't want any color at the outer part of the gradient. So this is the outer part. How did I get to know this is the outer part? Notice that this outer part is darker than the middle part. So if you check the two handles here, you have something light here, you have something dark here. So definitely this is the one that controls the outer part of the gradient. So you click on it, then you go to color here, color picker. Then this is the transparent. You give it 0 transparent. Notice the way I move, this particular number changes. It changes, then make sure you are using 0. Click OK. So you have something like this. But then you have to move it here like this so that you can have something transparent and linear. Yeah. So click on this guy again, this one at the middle, this one at the middle. Click on it, go to color again. Then make sure you are choosing white, pure white. Then we have something like this. You can move this one a bit to make sure you have something smooth. So click OK. So we have something like this here. I want to place one here so that it fails a bit. I'll click OK. Then I want to duplicate this by copy. When you click on copy, it duplicates. Then you can do whatever it is you want to do with this. So I have something like this here. You can duplicate again if you want to. I want to duplicate this, then I want to go to opacity and reduce the opacity. So I want to put it at the middle here. So something just to blend with the glow so that it goes with the glow. So I will drop it at the middle so that it's give it a feel, a kind of feel that goes with the glow on the apron. So it's not really like I want the apron to show. That is what I want. Before you start a design, make sure you know what you want. It's not like I really want the apron to show. If I want the apron to show, I know the kind of color I will give it. I know the kind of brightness or the number of brightness, the amount of brightness I will give the background for my apron to show. I will know how to place the image of the babies for my apron to show if I want my apron to show. Know what you want before you design. Okay? And probably understand your client if you are not designing for yourself. If you are designing for your client, know what your client wants. Ask questions. Get the brief. Understand the brief. Then own it. So this is what I want because I'm designing for myself, not for any client. If I was designing for any client, I would have gotten what the person wants. This is what I want. Yeah. So I'll just drop it here. Then I'll go to where I manage my layer and lock everything in place like this. So I have something like this. So the next thing I want to do is to create a kind of black shadow here because the other things I want to put are the footer here. So go to your shape again, create a rectangle shape like this. Something like this is fine. Bring it here. Then you go to gradient, click on plus. Yeah, we have something like this. You can just leave it like this. But the upper part, this is the upper part. You can see this place is lighter. This is for the upper part. Click on it. Click on color. Then we have transparent. We don't want any color there. Go to the black here. This one. Click on it and give it a pure black. So click OK. You have something like this. Then when you click OK, you have this. So anyhow you want to move it, you can decrease. You can increase. You can decrease like this. You can increase like this, depending on how you want it. I want mine like this. Yeah, I think it's okay like this. Yeah. So go to where you manage your layer and lock it so that you don't mistakenly move it away from where you placed it. So what I want to write now, I want to write the exciting. Yeah. Click on new text, double tap and write your exciting. Yeah. So bring it here, change the color. I want to pick you can pick the color here. I pick the color from here. I don't even need to drop the code because the color is here. This is the color I used for my logo here. So click OK, then go to font. My font, let's choose this font again, the Constellation. Click OK. So we have something like this. Can you see? We have something like this here. But if you want to, probably if you have a color code, like, or you want to use the exact color code without having to look for the font, for the color I used, you can just go back to color plus this, then you input the color code FFC 107. So it's the same color. So I have something like this here. I want to change the font size. I want to change it to something like this. So yeah, 27 is okay. So I want to drop it here. So the next thing I want to write is April. Click on this font again, double tap, then let's write April. So let's go to font again. I'm using the same font like this, but remember that it will cut off the beauty. Go to padding, increase it like this, then you can place it here. Then you can go to size. Then I want to decrease the size a bit. Let me use 81. Make sure you are looking at what you are doing. I want to drop it here. Then I want to change the color to white. Yeah, I think it's okay like this. So the next thing I want to do is to create a rectangle here so that I can place my footer there. Go to where you create your shape, go to shape and create something like this here. Then you can choose the same color you used for this exciting. Yeah, this is it. Then if you have your footer, if you have it as PNG, you can import it. I will import my own now. So here is my footer. So I'll just crop it like this. I'll crop it like this. So cropping it, I will reduce it. If you notice, I have yellow lines below this footer. So for me to make it come out, I have to go to color filter so that I'll be able to change this hue. The hue, if I change the hue, it will come out a bit. I can change it like this or like this. Then I can increase the saturation a bit so that the yellow changes to something that will contrast the one below. So I have something like this. So I can place it like this. So I have something like this here. So the next thing I want to do is to bring my logo and write the LO here, then some other exciting icons to make the design fun. So let me write the LO first. Go to text, then write LO. So I'll put the LO here. Then I'll go to font. I want to choose Poppins. I'll choose Poppins medium. Yeah. Then I'll change the size to 20. Maybe let me use 20. 23 is fine. Then I want to change the opacity because looking at the other ones, they are glowing, they are faded, that kind of thing. So I want to reduce the opacity to something like this. I'll just use 50. Yeah, 50 is okay. I'll just drop it here. So I'll drop it here, right? So then I'll import my logo. So to make it faster, here's my logo. So I'll just place it somewhere here and place somewhere here. Then I'll import other icons here. So let me import all the icons, then we start changing the color. So I have all the icons here. So this icon, I want to change the color so that it blends with somehow blends with the color we used for the April. So I want to go to filter. Let me change it to something like this. Then decrease the saturation a bit, increase the brightness so that it goes with the flow of the glow. Then increase the contrast a bit like this. Let me decrease the saturation. So yeah, so we have something like this. So let me click on this laugh emoji, go to filter, increase the contrast like this, then decrease the saturation. We have something like this here. You can tweak this to a bit, yeah. So we have something like this. So look at it. Anything you want to change, you can change it before you export. Anything at all. So this glow, I want to check anyone that I feel is too much or not necessary. So for this last part, I feel I should just decrease the opacity a bit. Yeah. So let me just decrease the opacity a bit like this. I think it's better this way. So go to this icon here, click on save as project. What should we name it? April projects. April project 1 or V1, which means version 1. Click OK. So after saving as project, you can go back there to this icon, then save as image. So you can then, because I did not change the size of my document before starting to design, so that it doesn't give me too much size of MB. Now it's a must actually. If I want something quality, I must change the dimension to ultra. And even I changed the size before I started designing, I don't need to use ultra, I can just save directly. But because I didn't change it, I used the default size I came with PixelLab, I needed to change it to ultra so I have something quality and crisp. So after changing it to ultra, you can just save to gallery. So it's saved. Then you can take it to Lightroom and give it more, you can sharpen it, give it more vibrance and tweak it, other thing like that, to make it look like this. If you don't know how to do that, you can just watch the video that is shown at the top right corner of this video, or that will show at the end of this video. So let's go into the second one very fast. Yeah, this new one we're about to create, if you are creative enough, we have up to 10 different flyers from this layout if you are creative enough, by just using different background or different image with same layout. So let's get started. We have to be fast about it. So let's import our image. This is our first image. You can just crop it like this. Yeah, we have something like this. Then let's scale it a bit. Then let me move it here. Let me decrease it a bit like this. Yeah. Now let's import the second one. Yeah, this is the second one. Yeah, this is the second one. So a quick one, if you want image like this, if you notice, it's not like I duplicated and I changed the dimension and everything like that. For this particular model, I have up to 10 images of this particular model with different expressions, different dimension, different view, different perspective. Just like I have in 1000 PNG black models that I uploaded on my seller account for just 1000 naira. So if you want images like this without background and with background, you can just check my 1000 PNG black models and just purchase it just for 1000 naira, and you have access to up to 1000 PNG black models, different perspective, different expressions, different sizes, different dimension, and high quality. So let's continue. So we have this like this, but we want to bring this back. So let's go to where we manage our layers. Let's bring this back like this. So we have something like this. So now the next thing, I want to lock this one, then hold this one. So this one, I want to go to color filters. Then I want to increase the saturation to something like this. I want to decrease it like this because it's too saturated. Then the brightness, I want to increase it like this. I want to give it like 13. If you notice, sun is eating the image from the back, so we have to make sure it's bright enough for us to have a balanced lighting. So let's increase the contrast too. Let's increase the contrast to something like this, so that we have something even like this. So I think it's better like this. Let's just click OK. Then let's lock this and unlock this, the second one. So let's go to color filter too. Let's decrease the saturation too. Let's decrease it a bit. Then let's increase the brightness. Be checking as you are increasing the brightness, be checking what you are increasing so that you don't go too much or too low. So let's increase the contrast too, like this. Then can you see we have something nice? Yeah, let's click OK. Now let's import the background. So here's the background, but I want to crop it. So I want to use this side like this. Yes. So then I want to go to relative size, then increase it to 100 so that it fills my page. So I want to take it back. I believe you all know how to take it back. Yeah, I want to take it back like this, but then I want to go to color filter because it's too obvious like this. So I want to take it to color filter. This is color filter. Then I want to change the hue a bit. So let me change it to 13 so that it gives me something bright. So I want to decrease the saturation too. I want to decrease the saturation like this. I think it's getting better. If you look at the clothes that the model is wearing and the background, you can see they are more alike now. It's blending a bit now because they are not of the same background before. So we need to blend it so that we have something uniform. So let's increase the contrast so that, because we still have something to write here, plus the sun is eating our model from the right side like this. So we need something bright so that it feels like the sun is shining bright. So let's just increase it a bit like this. I think it's okay like this. I love it this way. Click OK and let's lock it in place. So the next thing we want to do is to create a white glow so that we enhance the sun so that it feels like it's eating both the background and the model. So let's go to shape, change it to circle like this, the way we did it in the previous flyer. So go to gradient. I think we still have it here. If you followed the process of the previous video, you have something like this. So just click it and click OK. Then you can place it here. I want to use it to fade this background so that by the time I write something here, it will show. You can increase it to have something you want. So I have something like this here. So I want to duplicate it and put another one here like this. So I want to lock them in place. So the next thing I want to do, I want to create a rectangle here. This is where I will place my footer. So let me create the rectangle here. So this is the rectangle. I want to change the color. I want to go to gradient and click on this plus sign. So I want this gradient to be horizontal linear or linear horizontal, anyhow you want to pronounce it. So I want to click on this and change the color to 80940F. Click OK and we have something like this here. So the second one, I want to change it to AEC320 so that I have something like this. So I have something like this. If you want to change the dimension, the orientation, you can click on this plus again, then you change it like this, or if you click on this, it will switch itself instead of having to drag and drop the undo. Clicking on this make it change. Can you see? So just click OK. So we have something like this. So the next thing is to write our April. Go to text like this and let's write April, and let's make it bold like this. So go to fonts, my font, and choose the font. So then you have to go to padding. So increase the padding like this so that I have something like this. So for this one, we have to take it behind the image. Click and hold, then take it behind the image. Notice that the white gradient or the white glow, the white radial gradient or the white glow, anyhow you want to call it, that we created is above our text. Making it above our text will fade off our text, and we don't want that. So we have to bring it above our glow. But then how do we make the image to come at the top? So the only thing you can do now is to make sure that you click on the image, then you click on this guy here, this edit, then you duplicate it. When you duplicate it, you have something like this here. Yeah, this is it. So then you can click and hold, then drag and set it the way it was. So notice that it's at the top of this rectangle. So then you have to go to where you manage your layer, then you bring this rectangle at the top again. So you have something like this. So click on go to where you manage your layer and lock the image. Then you can click on the text, then go to go to color, gradient, then click on this plus sign again. Then let's do horizontal gradient. Click on this first color, then click on color picker. Let's edit the code. Click on the second one, change it. So we have something like this. So we have something like this here. You can then click OK, then lock it in place. So the next thing is to write your text. You don't need to write what I'm writing. So this is just to show you how I design it. You're going and coming is blessed this April. So click OK. Then let's go to font. Let's choose Poppins, the medium. So then click OK. Then let's change the size. Let's change the size to something like this. Then let's go to color. I want to give this going another color. I want to give it, let me give it this red or this red, whichever one is fine. But let me choose this. Then the going, I want to give it another color too. Something like this is fine. Okay, you have your going and coming is blessed this April. You can click on it and reduce the opacity a bit, however you like it, but then I want to give it 90. I think it's better this way. So the next thing you want to write is your wish. So write the wish here. Go to text. You can now import your wish here, but then I want to get a quote from here. So how did I get to that part? I'll show you. But then I can just click on anything and click OK like this. How did I get to that part? Let me go back. So clicking on the text, after going to text and clicking on the text, you have the new text. But then instead of double tapping to write your text, you go to this code sign here. Clicking on this code sign, it gives you a series of codes without having to go online and be searching for codes. You can click here and choose from any no quote category: motivation, success, friendship, happiness, inspiration, positivity, absurd. Then you can change the language too, either English or French. But then we speak English, yeah. So I just want to choose success. Then I can just choose anyone I like here. So I'll choose this. Then I'll do OK. But then if you want to edit it, you can still double tap and just write anything you like, your wish. So click OK, then go to font. Just like every other text, you can go to font and change the font to whatever it is. But then I want to use Poppins regular. But for this your wish, I want to use Poppins semi bold. And then I will click OK. Then I want to change the size to something like this. Maybe 15 is okay. Let me do 15 or 14. Yeah. But then I want to change it to left alignment because the space we have here, we have it for a left alignment. So go to align. Go to an icon that shows align. This is align. Then click on the left align. Click OK. Then you drag this for you to have something like this. Yeah. Then go to color. Go to color and choose only the wish. You can choose it by dragging this icon, just like you are typing on your phone. Yeah. So let's change it to red here, or this pink, any color you like. But then because I've chosen this red for this, I want it to go with this. So I'll click OK. So the next thing is to create a rectangle here, a curved rectangle here. So go to shape. Then you have something like this. You can set it here before you curve it. So I have something here. Then I want to increase the radius. That is the corner radius. So I'll put it here. Then I will go to gradient. I will choose the same color I chose for this rectangle. This is it. So, or you can change it if you want. You can use any color, but then I prefer to use this. So then I'll click OK. So then I'll go to inner shadow. Inner shadow, I will enable it. I will decrease the radius and give it like 4. Then I'll change the color to white and reduce the opacity like this. So changing the opacity, you see that this moves. So you can change it like this. Click OK. Then you have something like this. So if you feel it's not enough, click on it, go back to inner, then you can increase the transparency again. Excuse me. Click OK. So you have something like this. You feel it's okay like this. So you can drop it here. Then you can duplicate this text. Then bring it here. Then you can go to align and change it to right alignment. So then you can tap on this, then maybe write anything at all. So you can write anything or just say happy. After writing anything you want, maybe another wish or something, then you can duplicate it again here and just write happy new month. Then you can go to font and change it to Poppins semi bold. So you can increase it like this, then bring it here. So you can change the color. Let's change the color to something like this, and this one. So anyhow you want to do it, you can change the color, you can tweak the text, you can even increase the text if you want. You can increase, decrease the text, and you can even change this color to any other color that you feel is okay by you. So you can even have it like this anyhow you want it. So but I want to have mine like this. I want to have this like this here. Yeah, it's better this way. I feel like it's better this way. So the next thing I want to do is to import my logo and my footer. So let me do that. So I've imported my footer. So but then I want to match the footer together because I separated this line and this. So by duplicating and cropping separately. So but then I want to match them together so that I'll be able to move them together. So go to where you manage your layers, click on this icon, then select the two layer, then go to this icon match. So you'll be able to match them together, but you'll not be able to separate them together. So before you match anything, make sure you won't be needing them separately. Then you can increase it, then go to relative position and make sure it's in middle like this. So let me increase it. Yeah, I think it's better like this. So the next thing I want to do, or the last thing actually, is I want to go to text and click on the new text, then double tap, then I want to write April. So I want to increase it like this. Go to font, then use this font or this or any script font you feel like, but then I want to use this. So I want to increase it like this. I want to drop it here like this. Then I want to go to opacity. I want to change it to maybe 2 or 3 or 4, anyhow it is, just to give it a different feel at this top here, at this upper part here. Don't let it to be too much, and then lock it in place like this. Then check your design. Check your design if you feel you want to change anything. Like this, I feel like I should bring it behind the glow that I created for this background. So if I drop it here, so I think it's giving it another feel here. If it's nice, you can leave it. If it's not okay, you can take it back. But then I think it's okay like this. So you can then check if there's any error, if there's anything you want to add or you want to change. You can then go to save as projects. April project 2 or version 2. Click OK. You can then go to save as image, change to ultra, then save. So after that, you can take it to Lightroom or any other app. Then you can make it pop like this. Or you can go back to your layer, and just hide this image or this image, then bring another image to support him, like this image. You can use this image to support him like this. Make sure it's behind the rectangle you created. Bring back behind this rectangle. Yes, then you see it's also fine like this. You can go to color filter and just increase this, desaturate it a bit, anyhow, just to make it blend. Desaturate it and be checking what you are desaturating. Then you can increase the brightness a bit, and the contrast can do something like this just to blend. Then click OK. If it's okay, you can even click on this and still change it to something like welcome welcome to the new month of, and just bring it here. Then you can go to color, give it the same color like this, and then go to new month of, or the new month, anyone, then change the color like this, new month of April. So you can go to opacity and still decrease it if you feel like this, and click OK. You can increase this because it's now shorter and bring it here. So anyhow you feel, it's okay. You can even change the picture of the two models. Like you can just hide the two like this and bring another image entirely here. It still goes. You can change the font. So I want to try to bring another image for you to see. Here's another image you can even try. This one, you just have to scale it up. I drop everything in the description, you can just check it. So you can bring this one here, you can decrease it and bring it to the back like this, behind the rectangle like this. Still feels okay. Like this. You have something like this. Is this something? Sure, you get. You can just click and go to color filter and just increase the contrast a bit, just for you to see how it works. Like this. It's fine. Any image at all is fine. So then you can take it to the Lightroom Adobe. Then you can take it to the Adobe Lightroom and make it pop. That's it, guys. If you want to stay updated with the latest smartphone graphic design tips and tricks, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Keep nurturing your creativity and let's continue this artistic journey together. Until next time, stay creative.